This is how it can stop you. And this is how it can stop you right in your tracks. But I'm going to tell you why these words affect you and hurt you the way that they do. Because they speak directly to your purpose. They speak to who you are. This is why you can't get rid of words. When somebody say them to you, you take them in as if that's your purpose. They speak to who you are. They speak to your self-esteem. Now where you once thought you was somebody, if somebody tell you one day, you ain't nothing. Matter of fact, I think you ugly. So one day where you was walking and thought you was pretty, the next day, guess what? You walk with your head down. They can stop your self-esteem.
Yes.
Just like that, because they speak to what? Your purpose.
Yes.
So how's it one day you can feel like you're on the top of the world and somebody tell you ain't nothing. Now, you walk with your head down. You scared to be in a crowd. You worried about what somebody gonna say to you because of a word spoke your purpose. It speaks to your self-esteem. It speaks to your self-worth. People, words that they say to you determine how you even value yourself. If you even think anything good about yourself. It speaks to how you see yourself in comparison to others. If somebody tell you you ain't nothing, you ain't never going to be nothing, you ain't never going to amount to nothing, when you look at somebody else, you will start to compare yourself with them and say, I wish I can be like them. I wish I can do that they do. But guess what? It's in you to do the same thing.
Yes.
The only reason is somebody told you you couldn't, and you believed it. Somebody told you you weren't going to be nothing, and you believed it.
Yes,
somebody told you you was worthless, and you believed it. But guess what? You can be just like that person that you look at. You can do just as much as they can, because why? The same spirit in them is the same spirit in you.
Yes.
Don't let nobody speak to your purpose like that, and you believe it. Don't let nobody tear you down. You got to know who you are and who the Father made you to be. And it is not determined on what somebody else say. It is not determined on what somebody else feels. There is power of life and death in the tongue. Did you know that?
Yes,
Did you know that just by you speaking something, saying something, you start to create that? Father said, don't you know that you are little gods? Whatever you speak, it come into existence.
Come on.
Did you know that? So how many of us just going around just saying stuff and don't realize you creating of everything that you say? Every time you tell yourself, I ain't going to be nothing, guess what? You creating that. You speaking that to your mind and saying, I ain't going to do nothing, so guess what? The mind don't think to do nothing. But if you tell yourself, I am somebody.
Come on.
I can do something.
Yes.
I got a price. Guess what? Your mind begins to believe that, and it begins to tell you to get up and do some stuff. Do it. But you got to first begin to speak to yourself. And do not listen at what somebody else tell you and just stop in your tracks and you don't try to be nothing. The words that somebody speak to you, they are what? Lies sent from the enemy to stop you from knowing who you are. You ain't worthless. You ain't going to be like your mom and daddy. You ain't going to be, you will be who the Father purposed you to be if you believe it.
Come on.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes.
Look, the man's mind is so powerful that even when they was trying to build the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
I don't know whether you know anything about that story where they thought the Father was going to send another flood and destroy our life. So they began to take some brick and all this stuff and they began to build them a tower. A big old tower. You know what they was trying to build it to? To heaven.
Come on.
They said, Father won't drown us no more. We'll just build us a tower so when the rain comes, we can just get in that and we'll be safe. And they say the Father came down and looked at them and seen what they was building. He said, man done become too smart. That whatever they put their mind to, they can do. This is how powerful your mind is. If you put your mind to do something, guess what? You will do it. Just think about it. When you put your mind to you want to trick somebody or you want to go do something you ain't got no business, guess what? Your mind show you how to do it.
Come on.
Show you how to plan it out.
Come on.
How to do it, what time you need. They're going to show you what kind of mind you got. So why not take that same mind and plan something good?
Come on.
It says, I'm going to do this, and guess what? Your mind will show you how to carry that out too. It's just changing your mindset. You don't have to sit and conjure up evil.
Come on.
The Father said, I gave you a mind that you can do anything with. Don't let people speak to your purpose. So the question is for us today, to whom have you been listening? Who are you listening to that's determining your destiny? Who are you listening to that determine what you do each day when you get out of bed? When you get out of bed, do you get up with the thought in your mind, I can do anything today. I'm going to go out and do what I know my life is meant to be? Or do you just sit there and say, ain't no point in me doing nothing. Don't nobody believe I can do nothing. I can't accomplish nothing. I ain't going to be nothing. And you just sit day after day when you know your mind is telling you to get, but you believe what somebody somewhere done told you that you are nothing. Father did not speak that to you. He said, I gave you a sound mind, a good mind that's able to think and do what I tell it to do. Don't sit on the side of the bed and listen to that enemy talk to you all day and tell you you worthless.
Come on.
That you nothing.
Yes.
You ain't gonna be nothing. Do you know who you are? Father says you are a king and a queen. And you are in dominion. And you got to believe. You got to stop listening to the wrong people who are not speaking to your destiny. And guess what? You need to cut them off. You need to stop listening to them because they're holding you in bondage. And you ain't never going to get up and do nothing if you keep listening at them telling you that you are nothing. You got to believe that you are something. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Listen, it says most of us are living out a purpose that was spoken to us out of anger by someone, but did not come from God. See, sometimes when somebody's mad at you, they blurt out something that's real ugly, or you make me sick, or you mad. And you were trying to live out a purpose that was spoken to you out of anger. Somebody was mad at you and said that to you.
Come on.
And from that, you took that as that's the meaning for your life. And you've been trying to live that out for years. Somebody spoke that to you in anger.
Come on.
They was mad. That did not come from God. That came from the devil speaking through that person to stop you from being who you're supposed to be.
Yes.
It says someone else spoke a purpose to you based on their lack of knowledge. And you have been trying for a lifetime to either live up to what somebody has already said about you,
yes,
or you have spent a whole lot of money and time trying to prove somebody wrong that spoke something against you. How many of us get up each day with the thought in mind, you know, such and such said that about me, but I'm going to prove them wrong. You spend your whole life trying to prove somebody wrong who don't know your destiny anyway.
Come on.
Who don't know. Forget what somebody else said.
Yes, come on.
They don't speak your purpose. Or either you get up every day and say, I ain't going to be nothing because such and such said, ain't no need me trying to do nothing. And so you don't do nothing. You done spent a lifetime trying to do something that somebody in their ignorance spoke to you. And guess what? They done went on with their life, but guess what? You can't move. Because what they said to you damaged, you allowed it to damage you so much that you can't get nothing done. And your life is just being wasted by doing nothing.
Come on.
Listen, it says, either way, either way, you have been on a rat race, going round and round in circles, trying to escape words that were never spoken by the Father and never determined your purpose in the first place. So guess what? All your life up until now, that's what you've been doing. You've been on a rat race, running round and round. And the Father says, I never spoke that to you anyway. I never determined that for you anyway. But you've been going round and round based upon what somebody done told you.
Yes.
So guess what? Some of us going to get free today.
Come on.
For some words and a false purpose that was never given to you by the Father, that was given to you by the enemy to keep you from knowing who you are. And why these awful words of no value and lack power to harm you, that whole list I just read to you, guess what? It's powerless to stop you.
Come on.
It can't stop you from being who you're supposed to be. It has no meaning. And why does it not have no meaning? This is what we have to praise the Father for. It said because your purpose in life comes from who?
God.
God. And was given unto him before the world began.
Yes.
Did you know your purpose was given to you before the world began? So if the Father gave it to you before he even sent you here, how can somebody else speak something else over you? The Father said, I already knew you. I purposed you and I sent you here. So can't nobody else speak your purpose to you but him. Before the world began, he knew you. Before